It's 7 a.m. on December 6th, 2017. I'd like to welcome the viewing audience and members of the physical audience to the December 6th meeting of the Revere Conservation Commission. First item on the agenda is roll call. Member Robert Cassidy.
Present.
Member Joseph LaValle.
Present.
Member Vincent Loria.
Here.
Member Nicholas Malason is not in attendance. Member James Serboni is not in attendance. Member Ann Raponi is not in attendance. I talked to Ann today, and she let me know that she's doing better and hopes to attend next month's commission meeting. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of November 1st, 2017. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Member Vincent Loria. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Member Joseph LaValle. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Voted in the affirmative. Next item on the agenda is a continued public hearing, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, 320, 327 Revere Beach Boulevard, Ash Family Limited Partnership. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Robert Cassidy.
Second.
Second by Vincent Loria. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative unanimously. Rick, floor is yours. Let's grab this one. If we can. Yeah, why don't you just use this one? Okay. Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. For the record, Rick Salvo with Engineering Alliance. Here this evening on behalf of the Ash Family Trust to present the abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for the property that's located at 320 to 327 Revere Beach Boulevard. The particular property is a summation of 9 separate tax map parcels. The total property area is 1.13 acres. The existing buildings on site are the former Boulevard Club is right here, the Yankees Pizza right here, and an existing 2-family dwelling here with the majority of the property either developed or degraded. It's abutted to the rear by the former narrow gauge railroad, which is now owned by DCR. It's an easement right now that houses both the power lines as well as the municipal sewer system. Behind that is an existing salt marsh area. To the north are 2 multifamily dwellings that separate our property from the St. George property. To the south is a baseball field that's owned by DCR. To the east, Revere Beach Boulevard, and obviously Revere Beach. This is a copy of the survey plan that was prepared by Boston Survey, by Instrument Survey. You can see all the gravel areas back here. This is the existing power line easement, and which also houses the existing sewer service. The resource areas that are on site are, obviously this particular site is mapped as a barrier beach. And on-site, resource area is land subject to coastal storm flowage, which is elevation 11 right here. So there's a floodplain that extends from Revere Beach that ends at the seawall. All of Revere Beach Boulevard and the front portions of the site are outside of the floodplain. And the floodplain picks back up here at elevation 11, which grades down to about elevation 5 to 6 in the rear of the property. Similar to the other projects up and down this stretch of Revere Beach Boulevard, we have indicated that in our opinion, and Mary Rimmer is also here as well from Rimmer Environmental, who did the delineations, that this site does not qualify as a coastal dune, as by definition it doesn't meet any of the dune characteristics. There's no elevated landform here. There is no opportunity for the land to be able to take tidal action from the boulevard, from Revere Beach, excuse me, as the limit of that floodplain and the tidal action at Revere Beach never gets past the seawall at this point on the beach. Also, the site's completely developed. There's no opportunity for it to shift and change shapes and do the things that dunes do. So our ANRAD application has indicated that there are 3 wetland resource areas on or adjacent to this property, one being Barrier Beach, second being land subject to coastal storm floodplain, land subject to coastal storm flowage, excuse me, and then the third one being the limit of salt marsh, which is way off the property back here, and as you can see, this is the limit of the buffer zone associated with the salt marsh. Does not reach the subject property. However, it does include a portion of the DCR-owned land where the utilities are, and obviously the utility connections will be made back there. So that's essentially the plan. Obviously, this is just an resource area delineation right now. The last meeting, you might recall, was pretty well attended by the St. George. We hadn't had opportunity to meet with the St. George prior to the last meeting. Since then, we were able to have one meeting just with the St. George at their facility, and we've had a couple of public meetings with the City Council that were well attended by the St. George. And they were also made aware of this meeting tonight and was posted. I think my sense is that maybe that they understood that this was just an resource area delineation, and it really wasn't the actual project yet. So obviously, subject to this, after this procedure, we'll be filing an actual notice of intent for the actual development plans, but we're here tonight to seek approval for the resource areas as delineated.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr.
Yes, in accordance with your diagram, that area that's listed in gravel, do I concur that it actually goes out to the roadway, the easement in the back?
Yeah, it goes out. So this is all gravel area. Some of it's broken pavement, and then it comes up this way and goes this way down behind the ball field, and it continues all the way down, heads down behind the St. George.
Now, have test borings been done?
Yes.
Can you tell me the nature of what might be under there? I mean, I see gravel in the diagram, but does that extend to any depth? Is it just 2 or 3 inches? Does it go down?
No, there was several feet of gravelly type material. I want to say down, I don't remember exactly what the boring showed. I want to say down a certain depth there was a peat layer, which was consistent with even the far end of the beach, which is why a lot of those buildings are all pile supported.
In regards to the is this thing working?
Yeah.
Sounds like
In regards to the property to the left and the right, is the elevation of this property similar, lower, higher? What would you?
It's all very consistent. Actually, all the way down the boulevard, for that matter. That the majority of the boulevard, at least on this side, has the edge of road and the sidewalk area being outside of the floodplain, and then all these sites grade down as you head from east to west. So,
I'm more worried about left and right, the
yeah,
ballpark.
left and right, they're consistent.
I happen to eyeball the area, and it did look like that to me, but I just wanted some affirmation from you.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, if you head all the way down to where the beach house is, all the way past Seaview Towers, same exact setup, except for the drop-off isn't quite as much.
Are you anticipating parking that's going to be elevated from the bottom of, with the elevation of the property as it is right now? Or would you be digging down, or?
We're not
you might
really, we're not completely at that point yet. I think that you can expect something similar to all of the developments here, where we're probably going to expect 2 levels of parking over, with 5 stories of wood frame construction over it, and that lower level construction will either be at grade or very close to grade, whether it's a foot or 2 below or not, but it's going to be pretty much at grade at the bottom level and at street level at the top level. So there'll be one level that'll be consistent with the sidewalk elevation, and there'll be another level that'll be consistent with the rear grade of the property.
Are you saying is never was Dune, never could be Dune again?
I'm saying that it is not a dune right now, and I don't think it ever could be a dune because it just can't function that way.
If you started redevelopment of the property, removed all the hardscape, removed some of the gravel, you don't think through natural processes it could become a dune again?
I don't, because the only sand that would get deposited on that site, none of it's deposited by tidal action. Any sand that's deposited on that site is what blows onto the site and then continues to blow off of the site.
Didn't we identify Dune on the other properties that we've done this for?
No,
I thought we did.
no. No, the
And
beach
you don't
house
see
is
that
not,
as an issue with DEP, who's insisted that it be identified as Dune?
so, it's interesting.
Yeah,
that-
under performance requirements, doesn't perform as a dune, so you don't have to meet any of the performance requirements?
Yeah, I mean, so the beach house, right, which is further down the boulevard, was not regulated as a coastal dune.
The one you just did was not. DEP made a comment, but they didn't
Yeah.
appeal it.
Yeah, they didn't appeal
If
it,
I
I know
can
that.
suggest, why don't you show them
But I thought I had identified Dune as a resource there.
No. Actually, I have it with me, but no, it wasn't. And
Okay.
it wasn't, and that wasn't contested by the department. So the department comments on that particular matter were a little different than the department comments on this matter, right? The previous comments indicated to use definition rather than performance standards.
Yes, okay.
And then on this one, they question the definition, and if I flip to that section. Give me 1 second here. Hope I didn't take that page out. Coastal dune. Coastal dune, by definition, means any natural hill, mound, or ridge of sediment landward of a coastal beach deposited by wind action or storm overwash. Coastal dune also means sediment deposited by artificial means and serving the purpose of storm damage prevention or flood control. So, a couple of things. Here's a cross-section. Here's the coastal beach elevation. Here's the seawall, about 3.5 feet tall. Sidewalk on the easterly side, the boulevard, the sidewalk on the westerly side, and then this is the grade as it drops down along our property. Here's the limit of the 100-year floodplain. As you can see, all of this area here, here, and here is all above the 100-year floodplain.
Yeah, but that wouldn't exclude it from being Dune. I believe there's sand under the roadway and the sidewalk. When the DCR did the drainage improvements 10 years or so ago, I think they were all in beach sand.
Could be. If you look at the FEMA map, here's the limit. Here's the V zone, which ends at the seawall. Then there's a break. The entire boulevard is outside of the floodplain, and then the floodplain picks up again on the other side of the seawall. I mean, the other side of the boulevard, and extends down. So this isn't adjacent to a coastal beach. The coastal beach ends. There's a seawall. There's a roadway. There's a sidewalk,
Yeah, you have
and there's no mound. It just
You have a
drops off.
catastrophic storm, lifts up the asphalt, you have beach sand, you have a dune.
I think what Rick is trying to say is that it doesn't meet the definition.
Speaking to the mic, please.
I'm sorry. That it's Mary Rimmer Environmental
Yeah, hi.
Consulting. You know who I am. Just that the definition of it being a natural hill, mound, or ridge isn't being met. There certainly may be sand, sediment underneath the developed portion of the site, and so the underlying landform and the historic landform may have been dune, but because of the developed conditions of the site, and primarily because of the seawall that essentially acts as a coastal bank and separates the tidal action from the tidal action that occurs from the backside of the barrier from the salt marsh onto the site in this particular case. So
Okay, thank you.
that's why that's,
I just wanted to question it and
yeah.
get some responses on it.
Question, if there's a coastal dune anywhere in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that's on the other side of the seawall, and if there is, the Army Corps already has a design there. Their seawall didn't do a very good job, because this is the whole purpose of the seawall, is to prevent, the alluvial action from a storm and stop it. So, I mean, by design, that was developed well before the adoption of what a coastal.
The dune has to abut another resource, either a.
Speaking to the mic, please, ma'am.
Sure, sorry, the dune has to abut another resource. It has to actually
Okay.
touch another resource.
And there's clearly a disconnect, right? You got here's the resource, here's the coastal beach, the seawall, the boulevard, and the fact that the floodplain doesn't extend across the street tells me that there's no propensity for the tidal action.
At this point in time,
get
it
there.
doesn't extend across the street. We gotta think
But don't
about the
forget
future,
that,
too.
but we are thinking about the future. This is a 2016 maps. I mean, these are the most recent cutting-edge maps, too.
I've been told not to rely upon those maps because of the limit of wave action, although the limit of wave action, which is shown on newer maps.
And we did look that up, too. This is outside of the
It's,
Limois
I
area.
know it's outside.
Yeah.
I just think things are in serious flux right now.
Yeah, keep in mind, the Limois limit is a wave that's 1.5 feet tall.
Yes.
Not even necessarily the wave that's associated with the 100-year storm surge, but I hear you.
Any other questions?
Just a point of
Lavelle?
information on that other drawing that you, the cross-section schematic? Yes. Could you tell me what the dimensions are on every one of those blocks?
25 feet.
No, maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Oh, vertical?
I'm trying to figure out how much of a drop that is from where you have the hash
vertical
line.
scale.
From here to here?
Yeah. No, down. One block,
Oh, one block.
Yeah, it's not 25 feet.
4 feet. So that would be about 6 feet of a drop from the hash line down to the brown.
It's elevation 14 down to elevation 6,
Okay, thank
about
you.
8 feet.
I was trying to get the right perspective there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty typical on the boulevard. Anything else? Do we have a motion to issue order of resource area delineation? For
I'll make a
Berry
motion.
Beach, for land subject to coastal storm flowage, for buffer zone to Salt Marsh.
Make a motion.
Motion by Member Vincent Laria,
I'll second it.
seconded by Robert Cassidy. All those in favor? Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll see you.
made more sense on this one than that last one, because this, they kind of said, make this inquiry, and you look at it, you can answer the question.
Yeah, when you do the profile,
I
yeah.
thought it made sense, that the last one where you get this comment, and they just sort of promoted an appeal.
Well, it's interesting, and I didn't realize it before, I don't know if you noticed, if you walk up and down the boulevard, this section of the boulevard, the beach is at the same exact elevation as the sidewalk.
Yeah, they raised the beach.
You don't go up or down like that, you step right from the sidewalk onto the beach, whereas if you had not too far down the street, down the hills, you're gonna walk down 7 or 8 steps to get to the sidewalk.
Yeah, they raised the whole surface of the beach with the, when they put the embankment fill there in 91, 92.
So you guys are not doing that, I want to.
Okay. We'll meet, what's, January 3rd? Well, I'm going to be away the next week, so it would have to be January 3rd would be our next meeting. Yeah, the first week. Okay, you're welcome. We'll see you. The second item, request for termination of applicability, the city withdrew on that. So we don't have it, so adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Member Robert Cassidy. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Vincent Laria?
I actually made the motion.
Oh, I thought it was Robert. I never catch your voice. Okay. All those in favor? Adjourned.